Servus! Normally, she would have leashed out screaming in response, but his entirely serious tone shocked her more than it arranged her.
信じられない。慣れてきた。私。
Aoko swallowed back a sigh and returned her focus to activating her crest.
交渉は決裂。ちょっと怒らせすぎた。
Anscheinend.
あの子から見れば、まあいい機会だし、遊園地ごと私を亡き者にしようって腹ね。
So she tilted his head as if begging for a simple explanation.
私、割とあの子に恨まれてるから。捕まったが最後、どんな風に殺されるか想像すらできないわ。要するに、あんたも私も、あの子をどうにかしないと生きて帰れないってことよ。
そんな、とばっちりだ。
まあ、そういうことになるかもね。
Gut zu wissen. As Soshiro protested in a tone wholly inappropriate to the situation, Aoko let another blast rip from her right arm. She was not aiming at Soshiro though. A little earlier in the day, Aoko would have been happy to do exactly that, but now her attention was focused on the girl in black, atop the clock tower. She could hardly grasp the situation amidst her astonishment. She fired her strongest, fastest magic bullet. She had the ability to conjure, and Alice blocked it. That was to be expected. When Alice set her mind to defending herself, such an attack was child's play. But what just happened? Sometimes, something she had never seen before had leaped to Alex's defense. A team of horses? A plague of locusts? No, those things exist in this world, unlike what Aoko had just witnessed. Normal creatures could not form like a spontaneous cloud of fog, and then dissipate just as quickly into the night sky. Impossible. Things moved in impossible ways. Alice was not even supplying them with any power source. Those things never needed power in the first place. Those broken and discarded things did not follow the rules of mankind. This was an invasion of fairy tales. Compared to them, the automaton looked merciful. Autonomous puppets were produced of Wellstoff, but even if they behaved as puppets should, these newly animated things, however, were nothing of that sort. Empty vessels become living creatures. Dummies robbed and malformed beings. There was a fox with dense special energy and visibly spread to all of the corners of the park, bringing with it a monstrous worker party that easily outnumbered over 1,000. Spurred on by the shrouding sensation running down his spine, Aoko fired a barrage of single-action magic bullets. Her impulsive attacks scattered futilely. The knives of the merry-go-round soared into the sky. Green fire-breathing lizards flocked. The bakeries opened their doors once again, and human-sized leaves of fresh bread marched from the ovens as platoons of newly bagged soldiers.
Aozaki, 後ろ!
Aozaki and Soshiro were completely surrounded. The ferry's wheel cracked as it gently turned. A rickety train car raced around the roller coaster, the tracks with kisty tears streaming down its face aboard. It was a crossly twisted fantasy. The girl in black reached over its insanity-fueled park. Oh no, we are screwed. Aoko was transfixed by the scenes unfolding around her. They should know best what's happening.
そうだこれは
Alice had once told her of Meister's familiars. Among them were 3 particular notoriety, one of which was being capable of something similar to this. And it was called
プロイキッシャフラットスナーク
Leukiksta, Flatsnark.
青崎だから後ろ
Struck by Aoko bullets, the creature exploded to splinters. It was clear Aoko's shots weren't becoming more powerful, but it was also the case that these beings were less robust than your average automata.
しずきくんこっち
Aoko turned away from the clock tower and grabbed his hand and began to run.
青崎
ごめんこれ無理逃げるわよ
逃げるってどこに
どこってとにかく行けるところまで
She shouted herself, tried to pursue herself as she vainly cleared her path. Aoko's magic bullets flew like a scream, blowing away the creature that stood in her way, or rather simply gathered around. She made a hole for them to escape through. Magic bullets exploded like blue fireworks. Aoko and Soichiro ran down the bumpy road. The blunt force and heat of battle went far beyond mutual convenience. They headed for the park stick at full speed without exchanging a word or look. The weird only extended as far as the park border, so it would be safe as long as they made it outside. But speaking pure numbers, the difference of strength was 2 versus an army. Or rather, 1 versus an army. Soichiro was hardly useful in the situation, and manpower was really the issue since they were facing puppets.
さっきの大丈夫上からこうでっかいハサミが落ちてきたけど
Aoko shot as she blasted away the monsters that stood in her way, their path. There was no time to stop for breath or even to look back.
なんとかギリギリ
As Soichiro pursued his voice too, and then she became shrill. 5 minutes earlier, they broke out of the siege at the plaza surprisingly fast. It seems that the resistance awakening differed case by case, which largely is taking additional time.
ラッキー朝に弱いタイプばっかと見た
Aoko shot as she mowed down the small fry that popped up. But then, without warning, something outrageous extends its way down from above them. It was the claws of a 60-foot lobster adoring the roof of a seafood restaurant. Its pincers were like guillotine. As Aoko and Soichiro cut across the front of the restaurant, the Red King pressed with tremendous speed, keep on splitting them in two.
しずきくん U ターンこっちはダメ
The game was just another central restaurant, but they had to take the long way around in order to lose giant lobsters stepping their heels. Waiting along the detour had been a horde of monsters, too many to count.
なんとかギリギリ
So she caught on the response, recalling just how narrow he had avoided his head being served clean from his body.
手前うわなんだあれ焼きたてか
そうみたいね要するに下級兵士よ
Alcohol plus spread is set a crescent full operation.
765メートルあの程度ならスナップだけで事足りる
Sliding along the brick path, she bandaged her right arm. She loosened a shower of magic bullets. Snapped a single action spell that favored red of fire over power, and it moved down the monsters was just like pops.
青崎そっちも
了解
blue explosion bloomed at the lamplight promenade. Aoko's cut of fire fanned out like a beautiful starmine fireworks show. The toy-breed man turned to become coal.
いける。数でこそ押されてるけど、この状態が続くなら逃げ切れる。しずきくん、そっちは？
いない、空いてる。ここからなら入り口の東側に出られるはずだ。
With a magical barrage that would have leave an average spellcaster blue in the face, the novice mage broke through the siege. Meanwhile, a single bird keenly watched everything unfold. Chirp, 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 chirp! The moment the blue bird descended into its master's field of vision, it made its high-pitched call. The girl listened expressionally to the report.
構わないわ。予想通りよ。撃つこと、壊すことしか脳がなくても、青子の魔力の使い方は波じゃないから。急増の使い魔じゃ、まだ相手にはならないでしょう。
Wow, and what for praise! The robber flapped its wings as it tweeted in response. Perhaps it was criticizing Alice for completing Aoko. Or perhaps it was success of Aoko for being accommodated by Alice. Alice could barely make sense of the chirping errand. Aoko Osaki was a novice mage. Until just 2 years ago, she was someone who grew up with no background of magecraft. Compared to Alice, who was raised as a witch from birth, Aoko possessed far less talent and experience. Winning was impossible for Aoko. In a contest of skills match of 10 times out of 10, Alice would be declared the victor. However, battle to death was a different story. Alice Kuanji was not a mage suited for battle. Aoko Osaki, on the other hand, was built for it. In a contest that pitted magical energy against magical energy, even Alice would concede that Aoko had the upper hand. Aoko's manipulation of magecraft energy was extraordinary. The scale of her magic circus was smaller than that of Alice, but the royal speed, durability, and quality of magical energy produced, not to mention the efficiency, were otherworldly. That was Aoko Osaki's hallmark. Though she had many failings when handling sophisticated formulae. In just 2 years of practice, Aoko had surpassed Alice's simple formulae that merely required an energy input. She also had a genius level in instincts and adaptability. Different schwieriges Wort. Though Aoko was not particularly proficient in excusing magecraft, she was terrifying fast. Puh. If she had been born outside the Osaki clan, she would have doubtless risen to fame as competitive sharpshooter.
でも、残念ね。
In a stray shootout, Alice did not stand a chance. Alice Kuanji had never bothered to learn primitive magecraft like magic bullets in the first place. She was the classic puppeteer. With her mirrors would carry out all the particulars of battle as her arms and legs.
制限時間には気づいているわよね、青子。魔力はいくらでも貸してあげるけど、あなたの魔弾はあと半時で根崩れするわ。
Sherpan's big agreement, the robin took flight. It had been nearly 10 minutes since Alice had made the amusement park into her dominion. That would be Green Fog give birth next. Aoko Soshiro, still running about, would soon come to understand the gravity of the situation. Klingt übel.
しずきくん、正門ってこっち？
ああ、その店を曲がれば出口だ。
Running non-stop at full speed had them at the limits. The breath racked. The two flew around the corner. Amusement park though it was, this was still the famous Kisti land. It would have taken a high speed within 20 minutes to sprint the entire circumstances of the park. And though there were no timidly familiar with the park's geography. It was changing beyond recognition. The transformation was not limited to the park's residents either.
青崎、
何を。
言いたくないんだけど、この遊園地広くなってないか。
It was. The problem was mundane as mistaking location for the exit or getting lost in the terrain. Now the park was warping, twisting upon itself. Scheiße.
Shizuki-kun.
Ah,
Ich wollte eigentlich... Ja...
Aosaki.
何を。
言いたくないんだけど、この遊園地広。
It was. The problem was the mundaneness of taking the location of the exit or getting lost in the terrain. Ich würde gern... Ah, so. Das Unterschriftsinn halt. Ihre Gesichter sind einfach so super. Now the park was wrapping and twisting in upon itself. Even now the structure was expanding and growing like that of a living creature. Soon the pair noticed that the mob encircling them had grown even stronger. Entrusting her back to Soshiro, Aoko summoned all of her effort just to keep from whining. No one would ever thought twice if it had been just Soshiro cowering in shock and terror, but Aoko did the same. She bore the responsibility for causing and dragging him into the mess. She could not afford to succumb to panic.
大丈夫。落ち着け私。遊園地の果てはある。遠いけど鉄柵はちゃんと見える。フラットスナークだって制限なしってわけじゃない。外に逃げるって選択は正しいはず。現状外までは目算で1キロぐらいだけど。
Up until now, they had been too concerned with simply running. Their breathing had become labored. If they could run for an hour without rest, they would end up collapsing along the way.
青崎、体大丈夫か。
え
The whisper from her behind put Aoko back to reality.
大丈夫だけどちょっと一息入れたいわね。
賛成。ここから休みなしで外周まで走るのは。
驚いた。しずきくんも外まで走ろう派とは。
After saying this, she let lip a jiggle. Far from debilitated by panic, the comrades in arms had been analyzing the situation and forming an escape plan.
ちょっとだけ建物に逃げ込むのは。
気は進まないけどそれしかないわね。
The breedmen had been completely surrounded. Perhaps there might have been a problem for an average person, but for Aoko, breaking through formation to get the building would be a cinch. The issue was...
問題はどんな店を選ぶかってこと。
She considered the characteristics of the transformation park. What would pose a danger and what was safe. The most important factor was not the strength or complexity of the building.
そうだ。選ぶならあの単純さで正しいはず。しずきくん、あっち。
After routing the monsters, Aoko hopped behind the counter, soon followed by Sojiro.
カウンターに隠れてて。
Like it was a Western shootout, Aoko squared off against the monster, using the counter as a cover.
ビンゴ。ここならスナーク化しないんだ。
After assessing the current state of the enemy, Aoko set herself under the counter.
あいつらは
Sorry, ich muss kurz das Wort App stumm stellen. What are they doing?
店の周りで地団打踏んでるわ。理由があってね。あいつらはここには入ってこられないのよ。
Aoko gave the perplexed Tsushiro a grin and took a deep breath. She had a heavy sigh of relief, a fatigue.
とりあえずコーヒーブレイクね。ここは遊園地の中でも遊びのない場所だから、あいつらにとっては鬼門なのよ。レジスターも調理器具も最近のものだし、擬人化されたマスコットもないし、スナーク化するにはちょい文明犬すぎるってこと。
スナーク
あいつらの名前よ。つけたのは私じゃなくてアリスなのかしらね。あの子の性格的にちょっと想像できないけど。
Perhaps now at ease from knowing if they were safe, Tsushiro seemed enthralled at her explanation. Aoko could not help but chuckle as Tsushiro nodded sagely. It was said that he had no idea what she was talking about. Normally this would have irritated her, but this time she was grateful for the warmth of his strange sobriety.
それはともかく調子良さそうだな、青崎。
Mistaking a smile for composure, Tsushiro broke into a smile himself. It was just another link in a chain of misunderstanding, but there was no need to redress it.
あれ？あなたから見てもわかる？私のマダンの威力が上がっているの。
そりゃミラーハウスで散々追いかけ回されたからな。あの時と同じ動作なのに物騒さが増していれば嫌でもわかる。でもいいのか？確か数に限りがあるとか言ってただろう。もう随分撃っちまったけど20、30じゃ効かないぞ。
あんた時々あれよね。
ん？
Her opinion of him improved just a little bit.
なんでもない。私のマダンの威力が上がっているのは単純に魔力の濃度の問題。さっきから霧がかかってるでしょ。あれ全部魔力なのよ。
Magic energy was divided into two broad categories. First was Odd, produced inside a magic body. Second was Mana, which filled the Atomsphere. At the moment the amusement park had turned into a fairy tale land overflowing with mana. Ah! Daher kann sie so Rapidfeuer machen. Although it meant nothing to the average person, to a mage it was a paradise of spells could cast as much as one pleased.
じゃあ残り魔力とやらは気にしなくていいのか。注意すべきは怪我と体力だけ。
まあ個人的な責任においてはその限りね。
So she breathed a sigh of relief. From a social perspective, more so than the monsters she moved down, Aoko was the biggest bully on the playground. He had been concerned about what would happen should her magical energy be exhausted, but luckily for him, it was far from surrendering her crown.
頼りにしてくれるのは嬉しいけど、ぬか喜びよ。あんな雑魚たち、ただ動いているだけのガラクタなんだから。スナーク本体は当然として、アリスが他の童話の怪物を出してきたら、私じゃどうにもならない。
他の童話の怪物。遊園地をこんな風に変えたやつ以外にまだいるのか？
Yep, tue ich.
そう、プロイキッシャーって名付けられた私たちでさえ目を背けたくなる反則。不可能な夢物語をも再現する時代に取り残されたデタラメよ。
Was für Tipps brauchst du denn? Einfach die Schwäche der Gegner ausnutzen und fertig. Tsuchiro's expression seemed to be calling her out on the hypocrisy.
あのね、私たちはちゃんと現代に寄り添った魔術師よ。
Das wundert mich. Einfach nur kämpfen im letzten Dungeon, den du freigeschaltet hast.
できないこともあるし、当たり前のことだけど近代兵器にはかなわない。20世紀、まあいろんな戦争の後押しで兵器の進化は私たちを超えちゃったから。けどあの子のは違う。どんなに人間の技術が進歩しようと関係ないって怪物なの。
Interesting.
例えばあのブレッドマンいるでしょ。あいつには自動拳銃とか効かないわよ。多分意味が分かっていないから。
Okay, also wir können die nicht mit einer Maschinen zerstören. Okay, kannst du gleich das Auszeit und pass to the counter.
アリスの使い魔は全てが空想によってこねられた神秘なの。前提からしてありえないことだから、通常の物理法則と折り合いが悪い。空想と現実は両立しないっていうごく当たり。
なるほど。ブレッドマンってのはあの動く焼きたてパンのことなんだな。
Einfach schauen, gegen was sie schwach sind. Einfach jede Magie nutzen. Und dann das nutzen, wo sie nicht anfällig sind. Es gibt ja Feuer, Blitz, Wind, Eis, Dunkelheit und Licht. Und physischer Schaden. Einfach alles probieren und das, was am meisten Schaden macht, nutzen. So Shiro seemed to have ignored the majority of Aoko's explanation and only reacted to the part that caught its curiosity.
話を戻すけど、あいつらと近代兵器の相性は最悪。ロケット弾でも効果はないわ。意思の疎通、秩序の共有ができてないから。プロイキッシャーにとって彼らの世界には存在しないもの、意味がわからないものは触れることなく無産する。彼らに通じるのは同じ神秘を帯びた魔力だけっていうデタラメぶりよ。もう完全に概念空間っていうか概念宇宙っていうか。要するにあいつらは伝承防御っていう特別なルールを持っていて、単純に強い力、強い魔術じゃ効果は薄いの。元になった童話にちなんだ欠点をつかないと倒せない。
Okay, das ist interessant.
ギリシャ神話のアキレスあたり分かりやすい例えなんだけど、知ってる？
So Shiro shook his head.
そう、無事帰れたら飛び丸あたりに教えてもらって。定番だけどいい話よ、あれ。
So Shiro was feeling pretty lost, but he did his best to grasp the situation. He thought that Ploy could care about scared enough to chase Aoko and the puppet from before out of the house barefoot. Suddenly the scene before them was stuff of nightmares. Das ist Maoskai no Yoru, The Witch of the Holy Night. Es ist eine Visual Novel aus dem Hause Type Moon. Wir sind erst relativ am Anfang der Geschichte. Wir sind nämlich bei, lass mich kurz nachschauen. Erstmal speichere ich kurz ab. Dann gehen wir mal zum Title Screen, dann können wir nachschauen, wie weit wir sind. Das war Kapitel 1. Das ist 1,5, das habe ich noch nicht gelesen. Das will ich im Anschluss machen, weil ich die Story interessant finde. Dann Kapitel 2, 3, Wir sind gerade bei Kapitel 5, Part 2. Die Story ist, der Typ links ist ein Landei aus einer japanischen Kaff, wo es nicht mehr Strom gibt, und er kommt in die Big City. Und sie ist eine Magierin und sie hat die Auftrag bekommen, von der Schule auf ihn aufzupassen. Eines Nachts hat sie gegen einen anderen Magier gekämpft und er hat diesen Kampf gesehen. Und Magie muss geheim bleiben. Also war es ihre Aufgabe, ihn umzubringen. Ja, dann sind aber Dinge passiert in Kapitel 5, Teil 1, was ihren Mind geändert hat. Doch dann kam ihre Zimmerkollegin, auch eine Magierin und ihre Lehrmeisterin, so keiner Mitbewohnerin, und will die Aufgabe übernehmen, ihn umzubringen. Aber Aoko versprach, dass er diese Dame nicht sterben wird ihm, weil er ihr das Leben gerettet hat. Und jetzt sind sie auf der Flucht vor ihrer Mitbewohnerin, die lauter Ploi-Kick-Shavas beschworen hat. But Soshiro had a different way of thinking.
やっぱり青崎の方が怖くないか。
Oh! Habe ich mich auch gefragt, aber anscheinend ist es leichter, ihn einfach umzulegen.
あんた死ぬの？
Ich liebe die Gesichtsausdrücke der Charaktere. Und Soshiro waved to protest, silently pointing out that she had made his case for him.
あのね、今私たちを取り囲んでるのはおまけに過ぎないの。アリスにとってあのブレッドマンもロブスターもソーセージ屋のミンチマシーンも全部が全部私が撃ってるマダンより価値がない。いい？あの動くマスコットたちはね、ただのおまけなの。アリスが解放した童話の怪物の一呼吸みたいなものなのよ。
Also es wird doch etwas extrem Schlimmes auf uns zukommen.
呼吸ってこれが？
Man tut ihn nur lesen. Es ist eine Visual Novel.
私だって考えたくないわよ。でもそれが現状。たった一体の童話の怪物だけで私たちは手一杯。そういうわけだからアリスがあと一体でも追加したら諦めて。
追加ってこれに制限はないのか？
あの子が出し惜しみしなければまだ何体かストックはあるでしょうけど、まあ成立する条件はあるわね。例えば川がないと目を覚まさない怪物もいる。この遊園地噴水はあるけど川はないでしょ。元になった童話縛りなの、あの子の使い魔は。
Okay, das ist doch erfreulich für uns, oder?
童話ってかけそばとか？
A bowl of Super Noodles? Was ist das für eine Fairy Tale? Ich mag's mehr als 5. Ich habe sie auch schon 3-mal durchgespielt. Beziehungsweise jetzt 2-mal durchgespielt und jetzt bin ich gerade mit dritten durchspielen.
ここに川がないのは不幸中の幸いね。もしあったらもっと直接制圧に向いたやつが出てきてた。
Gut, dass kein Fluss in der Nähe ist. Aoko continued completely ignoring Soshiro.
話の続きだけど、アリスの魔術の基本はマザーグース。
Mama
って知
Goose?
らないか。イギリスの歌で遊び心に富んだメルヘンチックな内容よ。
Wer ist Mama Goose? Mother Goose. The figure of Mother Goose is immediately author of the collection of the French fairy tales and later of English nursery rhymes. As a character, she appeared in the song The First Dancer, which functions now as the nursery rhyme. This, however, was deepened in a Christmas pantomime. It has existed to which is still performed in the United Kingdom. Interesting. Persona 1 und Persona 2 habe ich schon gestreamt. Ich will irgendwann mal Persona 2 Eternal Punishment streamen. Aber da, als ich leider das letzte Mal gestreamt habe, ging mein PC kaputt und ich habe den Spielstoff verloren. Und ich habe aktuell noch nicht die Lust, die ersten 5 Stunden nachzuspielen. Aber auf meinem YouTube-Kanal kannst du dir die Playthroughs von Persona 1 und Persona 2 anschauen. Wobei ich bei Persona 1 den Final Boss nicht geschafft habe.
ただそっち系のプロイキッシャーは怖くないの？みんなそれなりになんとか魔術にも落とし込める範囲だから。
聞きたくないんだけど、そっち系じゃないのは？
Yep, und der Link ist auch unter dem Stream. Irgendwo unter dem Stream. Ich kann hier mal kurz den Link heraussuchen. Und ihn reinschicken. Hier ist der Link zu meinem YouTube-Kanal. Habe schon Persona 5 gestreamt. I forgot to ask, but what about the scary kind then?
マザーグースを下地にしたとある創作童話系。あの子のお母さんが好きでね。こっち系のはどいつもこいつも尋常じゃない。私たちから見ても勘弁してって言いたくなるわ。で、この遊園地を生き返らせたのは多分フラットスナークってやつだと思う。私も聞き流していたから詳しくはわからないけど。
So she swallowed the discomfort making this way up his throat. He really wanted her to explain things a little less vaguely, but something she had just said necessitated further investigation.
待て青崎、あの子の話を聞き流したってなんで？
いや、説明してもらったのは随分と前だし、あの頃はアリスの話あんまり信じられなかったのよね。
Das ist dumm, Aoko.
私が素人だと思って大げさに自分の魔術を語ってくれてるな、舐められてるなとか。
In truth, if everyone hadn't taken less seriously, it was Aoko. She would learn the lessons firsthand soon enough, when she experienced just how real Alice monsters were. She would also discover how heretical the Mindster witches truly were in the world of magecraft.
その聞き流した内容は？
何でも強力な結界を張るプロイだって。アリスが受け継いだプロイは山ほどあるけど、その中でもえりすぐりの一つよ。捨てられたもの、忘れられたものを童話的に蘇らせるやつで、今まで誰も破ったことがないとか。それでついたあだ名が触れられぬもの。
The Untouchable. Netter Dickdarm.
フラットスナークじゃないのか？
それもあだ名。とにかく正体がわからないやつばっかりなんで、一つの個体に複数の名前が付けられるの。フラットスナークはその中でも正体不明さはトップランクのデタラメぶりよ。あなたルイス・キャロルのスナーク狩りって本知ってる？
The Hunting of the Snap by Lewis Carroll? Nein, davon hörte ich bisher noch nichts. Google. Hunting of the Snark. Novel by Lewis Carroll. The Hunting of the Snark, subtitled an Agony in 8 fifths, is a poem by the English writer Lewis Carroll. It's officially categorized as a nonsense poem written between 74 and 76. It borders the setting some creatures in 8 portmanteau words from Carroll's earlier poem Jabberwocky. His child with novels throughout the looking glass. Ah, also das hat was zu tun mit Alice im Wunderland. Interesting.
いや、そもそもルイス・キャロルというのは
Englischer Autor.
そっからか。ドジスン教授はそうね、特殊性癖を持った妄想紳士ってとこ。まあこっちは別にどうでもいいか。人によっては時間の無駄だろうし。
Ich mag ihren Gesichtsausdruck einfach.
今重要なのは彼が残した著作の方。スナーク狩りはね、スナークって呼ばれる正体不明の怪物を捕まえようと奔走する冒険家たちの話なの。キャロルらしい皮肉ばっちり、支離滅裂、意味不明、結末不在の本当に困った本で、一行は島で苦しみつつ最終的にはスナークを見つけるものの、見つけたベイカーは唐突に姿を消して終わってしまう。
Okay.
よくわからないもの探しに奔走する人間の風刺なんだけど、この遊園地において誰がベイカーで何がスナークかは言うまでもないでしょ。
Das Snark ist Alice und du bist der Baker? Aoko elected not to share this. Vielen Dank. Ich weiß auch nur hobbymäßig und habe nicht mehr vor, selbstständig zu werden damit oder so, nur Geld zu verdienen. Oh good, elected not to share this, but Bloodsnark had other popular names as well. The enigmatic Iceland, the 5-dimensional plane. These names were not given to it by Alice, but rather mother by mages, whom the Mainsters defeated. In mathematics, Snark is a term used to graphy, Fury to refer to contractary in the possible play no graphs. The plane, proven by the unable to exist in this world, was given the name a split for ill-fated existence, paradoxical in nature. Ich finde Persona 1 storytechnisch extrem gut, aber gameplay-technisch finde ich Persona 1 irgendwie, naja. Weil ich habe ehrlich gesagt auch nicht die Motivation gehabt zu leveln, um den finalen Boss zu besiegen, weil ich habe mich bis zu Pandora weitergekämpft und naja, Pandora hat mich kurz bevor ich sie gekillt habe, gekillt. War toll. The fairy monster described in the name was said to behold no form discoverable by man. Orc had also declined to mention something else. Flatsnag was a fairy tale monster that could grow. It would hide somewhere in the music part, continuously exhaling magic energy until the park completely transformed into a fantasy land. Aber ich muss sagen, ich finde Persona 2 Innocent Sin war bisher das beste Persona, was ich gespielt habe. Persona 2 Eternal Punishment jedoch könnte es vielleicht übertreffen, aber dafür muss ich auch mal weiter streamen und spielen. Aber dass ich irgendwann wieder Lust habe, die ersten 4 Stunden nochmal zu spielen, nochmal neu anfangen zu streamen. Aber wann das sein wird, weiß ich nicht.
ま、脅かしてもしょうがないし。
何か言ったか
Ich habe die PSP-Version gestreamt. Von beiden. Weil die ist bei beiden in Englisch und die PSP-Version hat den Vorteil, dass da keine Hardcores auftauchen. Und die PSP ist, finde ich, der Emulator besser als der von der PS1.
別に簡単に言って童話世界の再生がフラットスナークの力なの。この遊園地との相性は抜群でしょうね。何しろ元々が童話を元にした遊び場だから。
Das stimmt. If it's happened in business district, for example, Flashback would have posed far less of a threat. And Moses' power would be limited to project the shadow of a dinosaur into a building window panes.
あ、 だからここは安全だって。ん？
Sushiro realized that something was wrong when they noticed a glutinous liquid dripping onto his back.
あ、
He looked up to the ceiling. Their eyes met. Before he had a chance to think, Sushiro hopped up from the floor.
青崎外だ。
Taking the initiative, he jumped out from behind the counter.
バカ、何して。
Oh ja, Innocent Sin habe ich geliebt. Innocent Sin ist auch meine Lieblingspersona. Bisher. Oder das Ende. Wo die Welt zerstört wurde und sie sich niemals mehr getroffen haben und somit die Welt gerettet wurde. Busy trying to stop her from committing an act of suicide, she also came to her feet. Immediately she noticed something being brought to life overhead. Irgendwie hat das Madoka Magica. The gargantuan mouth clamped shut. With no mascot to speak of, the burger joint itself began to transform into one giant monster.
もう、なんで天井にピエロの絵なんて描いてんのよ、あの店。
Ein Künstler.
普通もっと違うところに労力割かない？そんなにピエロが好きなら入り口にでも飾っとけ。
Aoko aired her grievance as she ran. There was no safe haven left. Moment by moment, the last remains of civilization were being eroded away by fairy tales. Daher musste Persona 4 und Persona 5 auch die Welt retten. Also das ist jedes Persona-Teil gleich. The amusement park reached the final stage of snackification. It was not just the master characters that had been granted life. Like the burger joint, even the building had begun to transform. The roller coaster that made its way up at the park writhed and twisted like a Chinese dragon. Meine Persona-Liste ist... Persona 2 erst auf Platz 1. Persona 3 Platz 2 und Persona 4 Platz 3. Dann Persona 1, dann Persona 5. Ich finde Persona 5 ist das schlechteste aller Personas. Aber man muss auch die Welt retten am Ende. Auch in Social Style Dampfo die bei der Fenris Wheel, which had grown over 250 feet in height. Hordes of breedmen crossed in on them, as if to offer tickets.
この列整理は間に合ってるっての。
Mobs of trinkets, actually kickshaws, rampaged the park. Wherever a hole was punched in the envelope, it was instantly filled. Weil es von der Story her einfach die schwächste Story hat. Es ist ja keine schlechte Story, aber die Story von Persona 1 bis 4 sind einfach besser. It was a battle of attrition with no end in sight. But that was a matter of course, as there was a few fairy tales about limited resources.
なんかどうしようもないぞ。
スナーク本体を探して。童話の怪物には本体に当たる器物があるの。それさえ壊せば遊園地から出られるはず。
Ehrlich gesagt, eher weniger, weil wenn es dann noch shallower wird, die Story von Persona. Und da habe ich mir Angst dran, wie es jetzt so weitergeht mit den Persona 5 Spin-Offs, die meiner Meinung nach alle nach schlecht sind. Nee.
本体ってどんな？
さっき言ったでしょ。童話の怪物は現実にないものだって。今までいなかったおかしなやつとか現実じゃありえないもの、それが本体。
Du weißt schon, dass er ein Landei ist, was das Ganze noch nie gesehen hat?
おかしなやつって例えば？
だから
Ja.
命のある人形とか空飛ぶゴーカートとか。
Aoko paused to fight it for a moment. After saying this out loud, she realized just how deep the grave was dark. The user park was a treasure trove of fairy tale-less creatures on any given day. Who could say what was impossible amidst the newly transfigured knickknackers running around?
そっか、おかしくないやつなんて一つもないんだ。
Correct, Aoko.
この中に紛れ込んでる。
Hoping that she was wrong, Aoko bit her bottom lip. Last night was a type of polluted, deployed, bounded fields. Seeing as it was commanding so many familiars, it would not be unusual for its main body to have little or even no defense. Mark kenne ich nicht. Oder meinst du den Mark aus Persona 4, Persona 1? Furthermore, was model for my story about it being untouchable and indefiable. We logically assumed that it would collapse on itself shortly after being discovered.
逆に言えば、見つければ私たちの勝ち。
Ich glaube, mit der blaue Vogel ist der Snark.
そんな脆いやつが雑魚に紛れ込む。木の葉を隠すなら森の中って言うけど。
This was closer to the truth than Aoko realized. As long as there was the slightest possibility of it being hit by one of Aoko's stray bullets, it would not dare appear in front of them. Its true form was orchestrating the path for somewhere safe.
でもどこかに見えているはず。スナークは本の主題だもの。常にページのどこかにいないと主人公の資格がない。
But where? Thinking the most basic terms, the Ferris wheel was very safe as well as a symbol of the park itself. Perhaps?
あの子を捕まえるのは？
Her eyes opened wide with a simple suggestion. While Aoko had been trying to come up with a plan to overcome the stalemate, it was seemed Sojiro had been wrecking his brain as well. His proposal was a simple one. They could not find the Snark, they just needed to take out its master, Alice. Alice had not moved at all from the clock tower, even though from here they could make her figure wrapped in the moonlight.
それは一番ダメ。アリスを殺してもフラットスナークは止まらないし、このトンデモが外に溢れ出すことになる。
Oh!
だいたい私じゃあの子を殺せないから。よくて半殺しがいいところ。
Dieser Gesichtsausdruck mal wieder! A breeding ancient insult it heard toward its master, moved to attack and was mercilessly burned to a crisp. Mach mir nicht hungrig, Spiel! The two stood back to back, catching their breath, with no plan to speak of, and no route of escape. They had reached the rock bottom. Meanwhile, the audience were mentally cycling around the prayers if they smelled blood in the water. Going to the right into the bakery for their own minced in meat grinder and a butcher chop. Skewered and parodied around atop the carousel walked the plank of the thorny pirate ship. After 2 years of slumber, they were eager to welcome their new guests.
一応聞いておきたいんだけど。
何？手短にね。今考え事してるから。
ああ、あの連中が何をしたいか嫌っていうほど伝わってくるんだけど、それってあの子の趣味なのかな。
Gute Frage.
その疑問はなかったわ。連中の人間嫌いは遊園地の怨念とフラットスナークの性格じゃない。基本的にまともなやついないから、アリスの使い魔って。あ、でも
Aoko was unable to deny that there were some similarities.
それは結構。それで青崎の考え事って？
期待させて悪いけどお手上げ。ま、あんたが殺されれば止まるでしょうけど。
それは嫌だ。とりあえず逃げよう。
しずきくん？
She blinked in surprise at the sudden turn of events. Toshiro had until now been nearly following her lead. He grabbed Aoko's hand and pulled her with him into a suicidal charge towards the swarm of bread in an attempt to break out of the encirclement.
意味わかんなすぎ。なんで今の流れでそうなるのよ、あんたは。
Aoko nonetheless followed Sujiro's uncharacteristically gung-ho lead, using him as all the while. Sushiro would not be able to break through the surrounding wall of enemies with brute force. Aoko jamed her bearings and let fly a spray of magical bullets ahead of Sushiro. They broke through the net and ran as hard as they could. At this point, all that was left was to do what they had planned from the outset, aim to get out of the park, but not before addressing what needed to be addressed.
なんでよ、さっきはあんなに諦めよかったのに。
Aoko could not begin to comprehend Sushiro's reaction.
ミラーハウスの時と今は違うだろ。いいから走れ。
Hätte ich auch so gesagt.
違わないわよ。あんたを殺そうとした私も、あんたを殺したいアリスも、理由の結果も同じよ、私たち。
She wondered what was getting her so worked up. Aoko did not stop. She told herself that the degree of Sushiro's stupidity charging the breedman so recklessly had caused her to lose her cool.
あのね、一緒に逃げてるぐらいで勘違いしないでくれる？言っとくけど私、明日になったらまたあんたを殺しに行くから。死にたくないってんなら、ここで私からも逃げ出したら？
それはまた今度の話だろう。だいたい青崎に殺されるのならいいけど、あの子に殺されるのは嫌だ。
だからなんで？
だって顔も知らない、話したことさえない相手だ。
It was like somebody doused water over her blazing fury. Aoko's anger was snuffed out by the absurd simplicity of his reasoning.
顔も知らないって。
Could it be so she did not mind being killed by someone as long as he had met them? Aoko chased behind him, grimacing at ever increasing incomprehensibility of it all. From my spot atop the clock tower, the girl observed the growth of her familiar, Vlad Snark, a savior of the discarded. It was the vile, vulgar fairy tale monster who provided those abandoned by fate with a glimmer of hope before snatching it away. Alice set it under her control, but she was still keen to keep the Snark from expressing its bad habits. After completing a lap around the park that had now reached the size of the entire town, the robber made its situation report.
そう、外を目指しているの。
It seems Aoko was prioritizing the safety of the boy. Even if it resulted in wasting an entire day, choosing not to capitulate on a decision was very much like her.
青子のことだから、時計台ごと私を焼き払いに来るかと思ったけど。
The bluebird cheeped in response. Was it denying its master's potential for Aoko, or agreeing that it was Aoko's style to do exactly that? An outsider might interpret it as interjections either way.
退屈
The robin jumped and being addressed so unexpectedly. It chirped and flapped the wings like a flustered servant, frantic to say otherwise.
珍しく気があったわね。いいわ。せっかくのゲームだし、もう少しだけ盛り上げましょう。
Calmly, she pulled out a small object from her pocket. It was dark grey Easter egg, and emitting from inside was a ticking of a clock. The robin knew it to be ploy kick shaw, for battlitude far exceeded flat snacks, known to be among the best in one-on-one situations.
行ってらっしゃい。称える時間は20分に設定したわ。いつも通り控えめに壊れてきて。
And together with the witch's breaths, the egg filled with praise disappeared. Suddenly, a strong wind swept through the park. The words, "I could have killed them all by myself," floated in the air. It was the disappointment of something enormous that was both visible, yet overlooked. Aoko and Sashiro continued their dash towards the boundary separating the park from outside. The courier horde that stood in their way had reduced in number. The iron fence that separated the two from the outside world was just over 300 yards away. Fortunately, there were no particular large buildings barring their path. The Ferris wheel had stood in their way, it would have spelled the end, but thankfully it had yet to reach its full strength. The only thing that appeared before them was weak oddities that could easily be handled by Aoko's simple makeshift.
これならなんとか。
She would have said, make it to the fence if her lungs would only allow it. Since Aoko was utilizing the ample mana filling the park, her tank of magic energy was nearly full. Coupled with the fact that the condition of her body's circuits was steadily improving to the extent that she would be able to unleash at least one all-out onslaught. Until above her field of vision, something unusual was hovering. It was locked on Soshiro, hovering 10 feet above him, over the one side.
しずきくん、ちょっと。
ああ、さっきからついてきてる。
Soshiro had seemingly noticed it before Aoko, hence his previous awkward glances toward the sky. In truth, it would have been stranger for him not to notice, as the thing was practically glued to him. In terms of size, the floating object measured about 3 feet in diameter. Tiles covered its exterior, about which a multitude of spinning lights danced about.
卵かな。
Schaut so ein bisschen aus wie ein Ei. Soshiro asked, not really sure what to call it.
卵？卵って言ったら割れる卵。
Her bullets bounced off like it was made of rubber. This frightened ability to deflect out interference confirmed to Aoko that the ship was undoubtedly a ploy kick shore.
やっぱり外からのルールじゃ壊れないか。しずきくん、あれから絶対に目をそらさないで。いい？何があっても見続けること。視界の隅に入れとくだけでいいから。
ああ。
Aoko picked up a piece as he barked orders. The egg man who sat on the wall. He would crack just as the tales of spoke of. Nothing anyone could do or say would cause him to fail, but the moment they stopped looking at, he would tumble down and break into pieces.
いわく、王様の軍隊でも元に戻せない数の破片。
It was Mother Goose's poem, Humpty Dumpty. If Soshiro was his highest, then the moment that he averted his gaze, it would tumble and explode.
なあ、爆発するかどうかは知らないけど。
Even when it was going to scatter, something troublesome when it fell. Its oval shape, the keyhole adorning the front, and writing a scalp on it, they all made her anxious. It was an egg that was going to hatch at some point. Even if we continued to stare, once the time came, or whatever was inside came out, they would have less ability to conserve their energy.
青崎、早すぎないか。あまり全力で走ると。
後のことは考えないで。いいからしずき君は卵だけに集中して。
At this crucial juncture, Breedman stepped out to join the egg and block the path.
邪魔！
The Breedmen were marching forth in the Grand Battalion. At the level of firepower, Aoko should have easily moved them down. However,
肩焼きかこの。
if Snap failed to do the job, that meant it was time for her to put her crest to use. Draw, a formula triggered bullet encased in a full wind jacket. In the previous shots, they were equivalent of the machine gun volley. Then, this was the artillery shot. The hard crust breathed and absorbed her snapped, without a dent, scattered into thousands of tiny pieces as her drawers tore at. Of course, the transaction did not end with just Breedman. Sending bricks flying, the previous paved road was now bare. The nearby shell stall had returned into a skeleton of steel beams. Aber ich speichere jetzt erstmal ab für heute, weil das Lesen tut so ziemlich anstrengend. Und wir machen vielleicht morgen weiter, vielleicht Freitag oder Samstag erst. Dann mal adios und vierte.